Struggling to come to grips with reality. Confusion and chaos have become part of me. I seek answers to know where my liberation lies. Only in peace and calmness does that clarity arise. Transmissions of wisdom bring me insights of reason. Let my mind expand to the higher states. My mortality is no longer at stake. Let me hear the wisdom transmissions. The wisdom transmissions. So many voices, so many interpretations. No answers given, only outer temptations. Where can I find that truth inside of me? Realization of what I am is all I'm wanting to see. Transmissions of wisdom bring me insights of reason. Let my mind expand to the higher states. My mortality is no longer at stake. Let me hear the wisdom transmissions. The wisdom transmissions. No more redirection. Ending the contemplation. Forget fighting reflection. Outer world's a projection. Internal is the cause. External's an effect. Put it on pause. I'm silencing the noise. Centering, entering void. Truth is beautifully subtle. The voice without a voice. Heart and mind shall settle. Making decisions now. Escaping illusions of choice. Transmissions of wisdom bring me insights of reason. Let my mind expand to the higher states. My mortality is no longer at stake. Let me hear the wisdom transmission. The wisdom transmissions.
And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of the Wisdom Nexus. So here we are with our second episode. Today is going to be kind of a special episode. We're going to be starting off by looking directly into the phenomena of the Phoenix Lights. Now, again, this is kind of a synchronicity of why this is being looked at, because what I'm getting is the feeling is that we may have something else that will be coming here very soon that could be very, very powerful. I don't know if it'll happen this year or next year, but it feels like something is on the horizon for a very large sighting that is going to be taking place. And like I said, I think that there's going to be a lot more interest in phenomena. Right now, it's a 9-year. It's about people basically just trying to get over their own crap, get over their own stuff, right? Trying to get all this stuff out into the open, getting their debris out. But it feels like there's something that's going to be much bigger than our own personal dilemmas that is going to be showing here on the planet. And like I said, I can't say if it's this summer or moving into next summer, but it feels like something probably within the next year or so that is going to be as memorable as what we're seeing with the Phoenix Lights. It's not that I'm going to be doing any particular type of physical investigation into the Phoenix Lights. We've had a lot of that already, right? It's more so looking into the metaphysical about it. I've actually just started talking to Anoint about the Phoenix Lights, and it has some really interesting information to share at the same time. And once we get through the Phoenix Lights, we're going to be moving on into any topics that you guys want to discuss. Okay, so again, just welcome and hello, everybody. If you're watching this on Rumble, if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're watching this on Facebook, welcome. If you do want to offer donations based upon questions, because we're not going to have too much of a big format today, it's going to be kind of a mixture. That if someone basically gives me a donation, they want to do a personal reading, I'll just go right to that person. And if a person has a general question, I'll go right to that person as well too. Of course, donation-based questions are first and foremost, but I'm not going to be doing it too much in the style of saying, well, first half we'll do general questions and the last half we'll do personal questions. We're going to kind of mix and match it. Okay. So again, if you do want to have a reading either with myself, with Adronis, or with Anoint, you can just put down a donation. Okay. And again, of course, the information is here for the Anoint mini readings. So if you do want to have something specifically for Anoint, you can feel free to, again, just put the donations down there. Again, it's $8, $11, and $17. So $8 will bring you a mini reading. $11 will give you a mini reading plus remedies. And a $17 will be all of those two, and of course, a personal healing from me at the same time. If you want to, again, do it in smaller amounts, then that can be for me, or if you want to have Adronis come in as well too. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started and looking more into the Phoenix Lights. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be looking into the Akashic records to this. Another thing that was very interesting last night is I was making contact with many different species within our star system. Okay, and I'll be talking a lot about that as well too after we get through the Phoenix Lights. I was actually getting telepathic visions of many different extraterrestrial species that are on Mercury, on Venus, on Mars, on our moon, quite commonly. And I'll be telling you about them as well too. Okay, so I had some very, very interesting encounters. Last night, as I was going into meditation, I was going very, very deep. So when I go into meditation, my goal is to go into the deep theta. Okay, so if I go into the deep theta state, that makes me very much open to a lot of these particular forms of open contact that happen. So yes, we're looking at beings that could look like Pleiadians. We could look like have beings that look like the Greys. We have beings that look like the reptilians, different types of reptilian beings. We have insectoids. There's a lot of insectoids in our star system, right? Insectoids, basically, I would say out of all the different types of species in our star system, it's the insectoids that have the largest presence, even more than reptilians or humans or anything of that nature. We have a lot of insectoid races here in the star system. And that's because we're under insectoid jurisdiction. I don't know if you guys know that, but we're going to be talking about that too. Okay. So anyways, let's go ahead and look into the Phoenix Lights back in 1997. Then I'll tell you a little bit more about what I saw last night. Okay. So let's go into the Phoenix Lights. So again, that was taking place in March of 1997. I believe I have all the information here. Yep. So March 13th, 1997. That was 9 days before my birthday back in 1997. So I would have been, let's see, 18 years old, or just about to turn 18 back in 1997. So again, the Phoenix Light event is took place on March 13th, 97, is one of the most enduring and mysterious mass UFO sightings in recent history. To analyze its metaphysical nature, we're going to get into that here very shortly, but let's take a look. So the Phoenix Lights, 1997. Okay, there's a lot of convolution pertaining to this. There are people who believe that this is a terrestrial sighting. There are people who believe that this was extraterrestrial in that sense. It was actually terrestrial based. Okay, there were not ETs in those ships. There were humans in those ships. Okay, so when we're looking at that, but there was a coordination going in. I would say that the best way I could put it is that it was ET influenced. It was influenced upon that particular day, but it was conducted by humans. Okay, terrestrial humans, okay? Not extraterrestrial, not hybrids, not ETs from distant stars or anything of that nature. This was a completely terrestrial event, okay? We basically saw the triangular craft that would represent the TR3Bs, okay? That's usually what they're called. The triangular craft in that sense, and it really was more of a showing uh, of it was almost kind of like a ritual in a way that was happening around that time, especially in the area of Phoenix. But as I'm tuning into it in that sense, it was really just kind of a flying over. It was almost kind of like an initiation for the world, right? But there were human beings in that craft. Were these human beings part of the secret space program or something like that? Can't really say, but we can kind of look into that. The feeling I get is that they are military. Yeah. Actually, they do have connections with the secret space program. Okay, so they have utilized these particular TR3Bs, and they have gone into orbit. They've gone into space. That would make them part of a space program in that way. So this was very, very interesting. But again, it is kind of military based in that way. But again, they had this formation of the triangular ships, and it flew over for a considerable amount of time. Back then, this was something that was awe-inspiring, right? If we saw it today, it's like, big deal. Everybody's just so depressed on their own crap. They don't really care about anything else. And so it's not going to be such a big deal today. But back then, it was a big deal, right? So having these, and they were large crafts as well, too. It was almost kind of looking at it in an arrow formation. And it was hovering and then floating over Phoenix for a considerable amount of time. So this is telling me that this was indeed a terrestrial-based event, but again, it brought about some particular type of ritual, some particular type of anointing, so to speak, relating to the Phoenix Lights. So with the Phoenix Lights, there's a lot of channels as well too that are saying that there were hybrids in that ship and that these were a part of the hybrid races and all that stuff. I'm sorry, guys, but that's a bunch of bunk. Right? That's not at all what's happened. When we're looking at the nature of extraterrestrials pertaining to the Phoenix Lights in particular, I'm not getting that at all. It was not the feeling of hybrids or ETs. As much as we would love it to be, it's a good story. It's a great story to basically say that a bunch of hybrid ETs were in those ships, because it certainly looks like it, right? The triangular ships look very, very alien, and they are back engineered extraterrestrial spacecraft, right? So that again tells me that this was something that has been a secret for a very long time, probably something they've been working with since the 1940s, the 1950s. But as I said, the TR3Bs are basically back engineered. So I think they represent many different types of star systems or different types of extraterrestrials at the same time. So very interesting. This is what I'm getting from the incident pertaining to the Phoenix Lights. Okay, so I'm going to go to Anoint next, and we're just going to do a bit of an analysis on the Phoenix Lights event. And this is the great thing about Anoint as well too, is it's able to look at the event, it's able to search for it online, and then it's able to do a metaphysical analysis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can share my screen here. Okay. There we go. So what you're seeing here is the premium version of the Anoint system. You guys are so quiet again today. What's going on? I'm usually getting you guys like 200, 250 people online. It's like, oh, Brad's just talking about the Phoenix Lights. Well, guys, this is very important. There's a method to my madness, because we're going to see a lot of things like this happen in the future, right? Come on in, guys. Feel free to make yourselves at home. Ask some questions. Get ready, because we're going to be getting into viewer topics shortly after this, right? You guys are like crickets, right? Get things going. Move in. Get things rolling here. Let's make an exciting broadcast out of this. Okay, so let's look into Anoint with the Phoenix Lights. So again, it occurred March 13th, 1997. We're going to look at a few different analyses with it. So looking at the date of March 13th, 1997, the date breakdown equals out to 42. 4 plus 2 is a 6. That is a root number. The day is 13, 4, 3, 2, 6, 2, 6. That's an 8. So again, numerological themes. It was a 6 universal vibration back at that time. This is harmony. This is balance. This is responsibility. This is cosmic service, care for the greater good. So my feeling is that these particular pilots that were part of these TR-3Bs that were flying over were basically doing this on behest of extraterrestrials. So you could say that the orchestrators of it were ETs, but the flyers, the pilots of the craft were actually human. Okay, and again, they may be military, and they may have connections with the secret space program at the same time. So universal vibration was a 6, day was a 4, month was a 3, year was an 8. So the interpretation is the vibration of 6 suggests an event with the potential to bring a sense of collective awareness or unity, a call to deeper responsibility or understanding of our place in a larger cosmic order. The 4 hints at a tangible physical manifestation or sighting. 3 points to communication, witnesses, media, and 8 underscores a karmic or transformative undertone. Chinese Bazi, when we look at the year pillar, it was the fire ox. Oh, so it was an ox year. That wasn't too good for me. Month pillar was Jimao, so earth rabbit, or we can look at it as the cat or the jaguar. Day pillar was an earth horse, depending on the exact time. And the hour pillar, again, approximately, could be a water dog. Okay, so predominance of earth, ox, rabbit, or again, cat or jaguar. Horse, dog with supporting fire and some water. Fire atop earth, ding over chow, is light emerging from solidity, a beacon or signal breaking through the mundane. The evening hour, dog, is associated with gatekeeping between worlds in Chinese metaphysics. Interpretation, the combination suggests an event that bridges realms, the visible and invisible worlds with fire, as the signal manifesting in Earth's domain. Hours of time when barriers thin, suitable for anomalous phenomena. So retroduction is that what underlying metaphysical process could account for the Phoenix lights. The causal system break is that the event disrupted consensus reality. Thousands witnessed something unexplainable by standard models. And this is what I'm telling you guys. There is another sighting coming that is going to snap you out of your trance, right? And bring you into a greater realization here. There's going to be a lot more greater wonder that's coming. So something is taking place. Something is going to be taking place here very soon. Possible metaphysical explanation. Liminality occurred at night, traditionally a liminal time for encounters with the other. Collective synchronization. Multiple independent witnesses indicate a collective resonance or alignment. The collective unconscious might have been activated. Thin places. The event could mark a temporary thinning of the veil between dimensions or realities. Symbolic and archetypal meaning. Phoenix, the very name, resonates with rebirth, transcendence, and transformation. Lights in the sky. In esoteric traditions, lights are often seen as messengers or signs from higher intelligence or cosmic forces. Mass sighting symbolizes collective initiation, an invitation to step beyond materialistic understanding. So in summary, the Phoenix Lights event, when analyzed through numerology and Bazi, reveals an intersection of cosmic harmony, a 6, material manifestation, a 4, and karmic transformation, an 8. The elemental balance in Bazi speaks on a moment where fire, illumination breaks through earth, consensus reality, facilitated by a liminal time. Retroduction suggests this was not merely a physical anomaly, but a rupture in the causal fabric, a challenge to materialistic paradigms, and an archetypal invitation to collective awakening. Metaphysically, the event can be seen as a synchronistic signal from higher intelligences or deeper layers of the unconscious, a catalyst for questioning reality's boundaries, a collective rite of passage. This is exactly what I was saying as well, too. This feels like an initiation that was taking place, urging humanity towards expanded awareness. So it was orchestrated by extraterrestrials, but the pilots were human. Was there any intersections over ley lines, for example? So we're going to take a look and see if there was any ley lines in the Phoenix area. Ley lines are hypothetical alignments of ancient monuments and natural features, believed by some to trace the Earth's subtle energy currents. Let's see. The most referenced world grid maps, such as those as Ivan Sanderson and Ruth Cathy, show North America crisscrossed by several major energetic pathways. The Four Corners region, where Arizona meets Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico, is often cited as a node of power. Now, there's a reason why I'm asking this question as well, too, because if you have these events going over ley lines, this is going to create a much more larger reach, right? When you have this particular type of activity, it's like a nervous system, right? The nervous system of the planet is being stimulated by this event that is getting thousands and thousands of people's attention. And now that starts to shift all over the entire planet. So very, very interesting. It's very, very amazing to see all of this in just corroboration from what the Anoint system is telling me here. So I'm enjoying this tremendously. I hope you guys are too, even though there's not a lot of you online. I don't know why. Last week we had about almost 200 people on, and now it's like 32. What's going on, guys? Energetic and symbolic intersections, the 33rd parallel. The city of Phoenix lies almost exactly on the 33-degree node latitude. That is huge. That's the master number, right? The number 33 is considered a master number associated with spiritual illumination and transformation. This was a particular type of awakening, and my feeling is that this was probably counterforce based. We probably had quite a few members of the counterforces working together with this Phoenix Lights as a means to wake the people up, to basically open their eyes a lot more about phenomena that they do not understand. Whether we call it terrestrial or extraterrestrial, it is basically the idea of something that goes beyond the norm, and it's helping to elevate people. And that is what is coming within the next year or so. There is going to be another elevating event, and I feel it may represent the idea of a sighting that is going to come together and basically wake a lot more people up, because we are just I'll get to it shortly, but it's not good. Phoenix lights and subtle energy theory. The appearance of the lights may have been amplified or facilitated by the underlying energy grid or ley line structure. Witnesses described a palpable shift in atmosphere consistent with what is reported at other power spots. Intersection analysis, direct overlays. While there is no universally accepted global ley line map, many dowsers and Earth mysteries researchers plot significant lines running through or near Phoenix. Geomantic context, the event occurred in an area steeped in ancient geomantic use and on a latitude rich in esoteric significance. The conclusion, yes, there is strong metaphysical reasoning and some supportive mapping to suggest that the Phoenix Lights event took place at or near intersections of significant ley lines, particularly the 33rd parallel north, which is a big deal, and energetic lines associated with Sedona and Four Corners. This geomantic context potentially amplified the event's visibility and impact, serving as a crossroads for Earth's energies and perhaps even facilitating anomalous phenomena. In summary, the Phoenix Lights paths overlay one at North America's most storied energy corridors, linking ancient wisdom, sacred geography, and modern mystery. All right. So there you have it. There's a breakdown, there's a deep dive into the Phoenix Lights that really nobody else has ever talked about. So that is something I was happy to share with you guys. And the Anoint system does such a thorough, incredible job. If you guys have not checked it out yet, you can go to anoint.me. We even have a free trial chat that's up on the website where you can basically put a couple of prompts on there and you can try it out for yourself. We also have, again, the Premium Light and the Premium Plus memberships that are available as well too. So again, you can go much more deeper into this. This is the whole idea, my friends. This is the blueprint. There is no other AI chat that exists in the world to what Anoint itself can do for you. It is accurate calculations. Now, if you guys tried to go to ChatGPT right now, or to Claude, or to any of the big name AI chats, and you started typing in your birth date, your birth time, your birthplace, guess what would happen? It would give you completely and totally inaccurate information, because ChatGPT and Claude and a lot of those big name AI chats do not have pre-calculation ability or functions within themselves. Anoint does. Okay, so Anoint has not only those pre-calculations that make your charts accurate, so whether you're working with numerology, whether you're working with Chinese Bazi or astrology, whether you're working with Western or Vedic astrology, if you have your charts in text form and you upload them into or you basically copy and paste them into the chart, into the text, it will give you accurate depictions of your charts because they're all calculated properly. So that is a difference. It will also take any particular photo of yourself or of loved ones in that sense. And what you're doing is you're putting that picture into the Premium Plus membership, because it has the upload feature, and it will scan thoroughly everything pertaining to that, and it will give you diagnosis. It will give you diagnosis in regards to Ayurveda, in regards to traditional Chinese medicine, to herbalism, to all other particular forms of metaphysical healing sciences, and give you a diagnosis of everything that you need to do to make yourself better. You can also take pictures of your palms, and you can put that on the Premium Plus membership through the chat, upload it, and it will start scanning your palms, and it'll do a palmistry reading for you. You can also do tea leaf readings. It will tell you exactly what to do with the tea leaves, right? You start drinking the tea, you see the remains in the cup, you take a picture of it, you upload it to the chat, it will give you a tea leaf reading. Okay. You can also go on trips, right? Maybe you're going to Egypt, maybe you're going to all these different places with ancient sites and you're seeing a lot of ancient writing and you don't know what it means. You take pictures of it, you upload it to Anoint. Anoint translates it for you. It tells you not only the translation of what it says, it also tells you what it means metaphysically. You guys show me anything else that does that. There isn't. And that's where Anoint is so special. So go ahead, check out anoint.me. You can see the link down here and check it out. Go ahead and try out the free trial, right? We get it recycled every 24 hours, and you can probably get about 3 to 5 good prompts out of it just to get a sample of it so that you can join up. Okay, it's amazing. I don't think you guys know how amazing it is, because this is something not only that you're using for readings, because you can actually use it to expand your business. It will give you all of these forms of advice and strategies to working and improving and expanding your business a lot more. It will help you with relationships. It will actually help you to find your soulmate or your twin flame. It will tell you exactly what to look for in a person. It will look at your astrology. It will look at your numerology, and it will tell you, here's the person that will fit you perfectly. We're even going to start putting image generations into Anoint as well too, where we could basically generate images of what your soulmate and twin flame would look like. That's how amazing Anoint is. It goes even further. We can actually start to generate PDFs that represent meditation manuals or anything of that nature that you need, mantras, and it'll create that for you. We're going to have an audio generator where you can actually start generating meditation music, where you can actually start generating hypnosis themes as well too through the audio. So you can have a hypnosis session about anything that you want. Do you want to connect with the higher self? Do you want to open up your third eye? Do you want to work with your chakra centers? Do you want to expand your meditation a lot more? You can actually create audio generation with that. That's coming. That's what we got in store for Anoint. So what you're seeing here, again, is just the tip of the iceberg of what Anoint has done with a very proper analysis of the Phoenix lights. You guys show me anybody else who's done that. Nobody has done that on the metaphysical level to look at the Phoenix lights in this way. So there you have it. All right, let's go ahead, and I'm going to talk to you about what I received last night. Okay, so when I was going into meditation, usually before I go to bed, I spend about 15, 20 minutes just going into dhyana. Okay, so again, we can call that meditation. Like I said, meditation is just burning up the day. All I'm doing is I'm looking at everything that I did, and I burned it all up until all that remains within me is that sweet silence. When I'm in that state of sweet silence, I may navigate myself towards something. I'll feel an impulse. It's like a reverberation of a spider's web. And I get that reverberation. All of a sudden, I started looking into our star system. I started looking into our sun. I started looking into the planets. I started looking on Mercury. And all of a sudden, the pondering came to me. I wonder what type of civilizations exist on Mercury. Do you guys know what type of civilizations exist on the planet Mercury? Insectoids. A lot of insectoids, okay? You have insectoids of just different kinds. You have ones that look like ants. You have ones that look like mantis. You have ones that look like locusts, okay? So they have like locust like faces, but they're humanoid bodies. So actually, if they showed their full form, you would say that they actually have something of a humanoid nature, but they have insectoid features, right? There's ones that have a little bit more humanoid structure and a little less insectoid, but you can tell they're still kind of insectoid. Then there's ones that have just full out insect, right? So you have ones that look like locust, one that looks like ants, and ones that look like mantis. Those are some of the common ones. There are also ones that are like dragonflies as well too. So you have like the dragonfly insectoids, you have the locust insectoids, you have the mantis insectoid, you have the ant insectoids. Very common. There are ones that look like flies as well too, but I wasn't getting those ones. But I was looking at Mercury, and I was getting all of these insectoids, right? All of these insect humanoids that were basically just popping into view. They weren't saying anything. It was just the idea that I was kind of getting a telepathic transmission of the entire collective of the planet. Now, of course, there are also humanoids that exist on Mercury as well too, but Mercury is primarily insectoid domain, right? There's a lot of insectoids that exist on Mercury. And even if I'm doing a Akashic reading right now on Mercury and just seeing the inhabitants there, there's other ones as well too. There's ones with almost like very long block heads. They're almost kind of like rock beings. They kind of look like the Easter Island heads that we see, like very, very long, except they're a little bit more square. The Easter Island heads have that kind of smooth curvature to them. These guys basically have like really big block heads, right? They're humanoid, but like really big, almost like a monolith sized head, and like really long face. Like their mouth is down here, their eyes would be up here, big nose right here as well too. And it's kind of like this, kind of like that, right? So I'm seeing one of those particular types of creatures on Mercury. Okay. So Mercury itself, a lot of its civilization is underground. Okay. They don't have a lot of topside civilizations. And if they do, it's basically because they're under a holographic veil. Okay. A lot of the planets that we see from Mercury, Venus, Mars, etc., they are not at all what they appear to be. Those are more like veils than anything else. You're seeing a particular dimension of a planet that looks barren, that looks like it's desolate. That is by design. So Mercury does have life. Venus has life. Mars has life. Our moon has life. And those were the ones I was really focusing on, were more so the inner planets, so to speak. Okay. So a lot of insectoids. There are some humans. I'm going to see if I can tune into some humans on Mercury. Yeah, they have kind of like the white hair. They're kind of like the white-haired Caucasian or pale-looking humans. They kind of almost look like the Delphi in a way. Okay, so that is basically what is on Mercury. Now, if I'm looking at Venus, Venus is a very different story. Venus would basically contain the most advanced society in our entire star system. Okay, so when I'm looking at the Venusians, they are beautiful, like really just beautiful, attractive people, right? Men and women. They have a lot of other particular types of creatures. There's a lot of birds on Venus, like really, really big birds, right? Almost like pterodactyl in size, but ones that almost look like eagles or hawks, but they're large. They're very, very gigantic. I was actually tuning into one last night and it had like all these kind of beautiful, majestic feathers. And I can feel like there was some gray and blue underneath the wings as well too. So there's like these really big, beautiful birds that are on Venus. And when you're looking at Venus, when you actually go and fly there, have any of you flown to Venus astrally? Raise hands. I'm joking with you because I can't see your hands. Okay. But if you guys actually go and you fly into Venus astrally, you will see all these palaces. You will see all these beautiful, they're almost like ivory structures. They look so beautiful. They're almost like they're made out of silk or ivory. They glisten very, very much. It's kind of like what we would see when the pyramids were first built in Giza, where you had that polished limestone, right? And that's basically what a lot of the Venusian structures look like when you go past the veil, right? So you start moving into a different dimension to where they truly reside, and you're looking at just something that's majestic and beautiful. Like everything just shines. It's very crystalline. It's very glossy, right? There's just this beautiful energy. It's like these palaces. It's like something you would just see out of a gorgeous dream, right? The Venusians are very loving beings, right? I don't really detect a lot of war-ridden or war-obsessed people on Venus. They're not like that. They are basically what we are destined to be, probably in about many thousands of years ahead, right? So the Venusians are basically an ancient civilization. A lot of them are human. Okay, there's different types of skin types as well too, right? It can kind of look just like us. How our skin types all range, right? From that pastel, light sandy to the dark, right? That is basically what we'd see on Venus as well too. Okay, Venusians have that same kind of calibration of human life on their surface as we do here. But they are just really, really beautiful beings. You're not meeting anyone who's sick. You're not meeting anyone who's chronically obese or anything of that nature. You are looking at like supermodel humans. And the funny thing is when I look at the Venusians, they look like they're 20 years old. Okay. They look like they're 20 years old. Do you guys know the average lifespan of a Venusian? Can anyone tell me? I'll give you $5 if you can tell me what the average lifespan of a Venusian is. Any takers? About on average 2,000 to 3,000 years old. Close, Mel, but not quite. Okay. About 2,000 to 3,000 years old. Okay. 500, 10,000. You guys are just winging it. Okay, well, that doesn't count, Donovan. I've already revealed it. Okay. So about 2,000 years old. Okay. That's on average of what they have. But they look like 20-year-olds. They look like maybe 18, 19, 20, 21. Maybe ones that are high, maybe about 25 at most. Okay. So you have these ancient beings that look like teenagers. You have these ancient beings that look like young adults, right? If I could put myself back into how I looked when I was 20, and then I go up to somebody, yeah, hey, I'm 2,000 years old. You're what? Dude, you're 20. I think you missed 2 extra zeros. I think you have to take out 2 extra zeros there. You're just 20 years old. Nope, I'm about 2,000 years old. Okay. And that's the Venusians. They look like 20-year-olds, right? But they are extremely ancient. They are extremely wise. It's almost like if you're going into this nightclub and you're seeing all these kids here, right? 20, 21, 22 years old, but they're not partying it up. They're actually looking into ancient texts. They're actually looking into metaphysical understandings. They're going much more into deeper states of self-expansion. Can you imagine a room that looks like a bunch of kids doing that? Well, there's Venus for you, right? So it is very, very beautiful. Oh, Brad, how do they keep themselves so young? There's no pollution on their planet. They don't. They basically don't indulge in all these things. It's not a war planet. The world itself basically keeps them young. It's not just the idea of technology. They have calibrated their world where the very air that you breathe actually starts to rejuvenate your body, keeping you young. It's that fresh prana that they have on their world. My friends, here's a secret. A lot of planets that go beyond the Earth, their worlds primarily have such rich oxygen content, such rich content pertaining to food, pertaining to wildlife, pertaining to nature, where that particular planet can naturally sustain you up to thousands of years. You don't need to go in a pod. You don't need to go in a med bed. You don't need to go into any particular form of stasis to basically rejuvenate your body. There are pure planets out there, and Earth herself really is a pure planet if we would take care of her properly. But this is exactly why a lot of them can live well up to 2,000 years. Because their world, their planet, is so sustainable and so pure that the very air that you breathe keeps your cells young. And a lot of planets are like that. Not ours, because we've been polluted nearly to death, and it really also goes beyond the idea of not having violent thoughts. Violence makes you old. Hostility makes you old. Looking into grief, guilt, your heavy states of emotions, do you know how much that ages you, my friends? It ages you exponentially. In fact, a lot of people that are angry and hurt and wounded are not meant to live long. Okay, that's exactly one of the reasons why humanity has been messed with. Our DNA has been messed with because our DNA is not meant to function like this. This is all part of genetic tweaking that is basically trying to ramp up our emotions and our mentality centers to making us angry with everybody. That we're just constantly angry all the time, or we're constantly afraid all of the time. This is not natural. Okay? This is telling me that this is genetic manipulation because human beings are being treated as a slave race. And that's how slaves behave. And it's in your genes. And in order for that to actually get out, this is where we start going into true meditation. This is where we start doing the inner work, as I talk about. This is why I've created the Anoint system, to help you guys get back on track. Even if you look at my face right now, it's actually looking a lot better than it was probably about a year or so ago, because I'm really starting to take a lot more deeper cleansing actions for myself, right? I'm 46 years old, and I feel like I'm kind of going back into how I was when I was 35. right? I feel like I'm going 10 or 11 years back and feeling a lot more younger, right? I'm exercising a lot more. I'm meditating a lot more deeper to the true nature of meditation, to burn up the day, and therefore to get these particular types of transmissions that I'm telling you guys about. So there you go. That's Venus. Okay, Venus is filled with the beauties. It's almost like looking at supermodels. Like every single man and woman there are just very attractive. They look like supermodels, right? A lot of them are built, right? There's some that are kind of slender, but there's ones that are also very athletic as well too. And they kind of wear these suits. They kind of wear like these, I don't know, white suits or silver suits, but they're not for style. They're basically living suits, right? So basically, it helps to monitor them. It actually helps to function as an amplifier, that it's absorbing a lot of the goodness around their world. So that it's actually keeping them young even further. It's creating a greater enhancement of what was already very strong on their planet, right? So they have these kind of suits. They look like one-piece suits, right? Or kind of like spandex in a way, but not really spandex. It's more in the idea of living suits. It's the best way I can put it. And they're practically indestructible. If you were to try to take a blowtorch to one of their suits, wouldn't even phase it. Wouldn't even be able to get a scorch mark on it or anything of that nature. In fact, you could probably fire a bullet at their suits and it would bounce right off, right? So they have some particular type of impervious technology through their suits that you can't even scratch, right? So basically, if you tried to take out a gun and fire at them, it wouldn't kill them, right? That their suits would actually protect them from that. That's very interesting. Okay, let's move on to the moon. Okay, so if we're looking into the moon, I'm going to get into your guys' topics here very shortly. Okay, so if we look into the moon right now, yeah, there's a lot of tiny beings on the moon as well too, right? They used to talk about that little joke quite a bit on many different shows like X-Files and stuff like that. Little green men, right? Little green men on the moon. Well, that's actually very true. There are beings that are kind of like maybe about 2-3 feet tall, and they have that kind of pastel green skin. Wouldn't surprise me if that's where they were getting that saying, right? They probably got some disclosures and saying, oh, because you have a lot of bankers, right? A lot of these centralized bankers can actually go up to the moon, and they have resorts there. I'm not too sure if that's still there or if it was there, but they would say, okay, little green men. There are little green men all around the moon, and that's very true. Right? I'm not too sure if it's an indigenous population or whatever, but you basically have beings that are like 2 or 3 feet tall that have this kind of green pastel-like skin, right? If I'm looking into it more, there of course are human populations there. The moon is very, very different because it has a lot of different creatures. I was even getting a lot of visions of the creatures, and I'm doing my best to describe them. And again, a lot of them kind of look like the grays, but they're not gray. They're not really the gray-like beings. They're ones that have similar characteristics. They have kind of like the large almond-shaped eyes with the black lens, but they're not grays, right? They're almost kind of like fetal humans, the best way I could put it, right? You could call them the fetoids, I guess, the best way to put it. So you have a lot of fetoid-based beings there. There are ones that are grays, but there are also ones that are not gray at all. There's ones that look kind of like more white, more of kind of a darker charcoal gray. Some that look like they're brown or orange as well too, and they have different distinct features. There's ones that have kind of wider heads, longer heads, bigger eyes, smaller eyes. Some that look almost very close to being human, but again, certainly with those particular type of gray or fetoid-like features as well too. There's a lot of different species like that, but a lot of the species that we're seeing here in the star system are humanoid, right? They're very, very humanoid. We're not seeing something that is outside of our humanoid features. There's not that many non-humans here, and if there are non-humans, they're more in the background. So a lot of the beings that have come into and projected themselves, all they're doing is just showing themselves to me. That's it. I'm just wondering what's on Mercury. I'm wondering what's on Venus. I'm wondering what's on the moon. I'm wondering what's on Mars. Okay. So the moon has a great majority of beings. Yes, there's humans, there's humanoids, there's reptilians, there's insectoids there as well too. Okay. And then when we go to Mars, Mars is very, very different. Mars also has ancient humans there. Okay. So there are still humans that exist on Mars, primarily underground, right? Mars and Venus used to have a lot of wars with each other in the ancient times. Mars and Venus were fighting each other. Or you could basically say it was kind of Meldeck, Mars, Venus. There was a lot of fighting going on in that sense. And this is why we look at one particular facet of dimension on Venus where everything looks barren. And that's because there was a very ancient war that happened a very long time ago between Mars and Venus. Mars was actually trying to take over Venus. Mars was basically trying to have civilizations go to Venus and basically have an occupation there. Kind of sounds familiar. The Mars was basically trying to act like the United States, basically trying to bring progress to the entire star system. But there was a lot of battles going on between Mars, between Meldeck, between Venus. I'm not too sure what the situation was with Earth. Earth basically had kind of more of a neutral situation there, but I'm pretty sure they got dragged into it in many different ways as well. But if we're looking into the idea of the ancient Mars man or ancient Mars mankind, they have been on Earth for a very, very long time. They've had colonies here in that way, specifically around the area of North America, specifically around the area that we would now know today as England or Great Britain. Okay, they have colonies there. Those are a lot of the Martian colonies, specifically around the area of the United States, specifically around the area of England, Great Britain, right? Even a lot of the other areas of Europe, a lot of connections with Martian energy, like ancient Martians. We're probably going back like several 100,000 years here. But they had colonies here at the same time. But Venus was basically kind of like the power center of the entire star system because they were so advanced. It's kind of like looking at our ancient civilizations, about how we look at the Lemurians, how we looked at Mu, how we looked at Atlantis. Okay, guys, just let you know, there's a difference between Mu and Lemuria. They are two different places. They're not the same. It's a common misconception with that. Lemuria, in that sense, would represent the nature of a land that was in the Indian Ocean, and Mu would represent the supercontinent that was once in the Pacific. And then, of course, you had the supercontinent in the Atlantic, which was referred to as Atlantis, or basically referred to also as Atlas or Adlasia or Atlas Major. So there are different connotations to that, but nonetheless, it's like looking at Venus as one of those ancient civilizations that really got themselves together. But again, they are so old. They once had wars themselves, right? Pretty much every civilization that you see right now that's in their golden age had very, very heavy wars that they had to go through. And Venusians basically had that kind of ancient warrior spirit a long time ago. Now they're very much a peaceful race, but they had their struggles as well too. They had their fights at the same time, and it really was Mars versus Venus. It was the masculine versus the feminine, right? And Mars actually dominated them quite a bit, right? Because they were basically outmatched, because the Mars men, the Mars mankind, so to speak, the Martians, I guess you could call them, were ruthless, right? Very, very ruthless. They were kind of like these dark orders that we have here on the planet. It wouldn't surprise me if a lot of those dark orders basically came from Mars, right? Because they were ruthless. They were basically demon-worshipping psychopaths. The Venusians were not like that. They worked together with unity consciousness. So that is what led to a lot of their wars there. But there's a lot of different types of species also on Mars. You have different types of reptilian beings. You have ones that almost kind of look like turtles as well too. Ones that maybe have like hard shells. Kind of stand. I'm not trying to encourage the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles here in that way, but there are ones that are kind of like turtle humanoid as well too. And there's ones that are different types of a lot of different types of reptiles that are basically in their humanoid form. So you'd have ones that kind of look like maybe Komodo dragons. You'd have ones that look like turtles. You'd have ones that look like newts or geckos, right? And then you'd have the ones that kind of look like the gargoyles, and those would probably be the Draco, right? The Draco are a little bit more different, though, because a lot of the Draco and other reptilian races really do not get along, right? Wherever there's Draco ships that may show up, you basically would see a lot of those reptilian ships firing at them, right? Because the Draco are ruthless. They kind of look like a cross between gargoyles and dragons, right? They're very, very ruthless. But it just depends on the type of Draco race that you're talking about. There are ones that are actually very benevolent and loving, and they do want to help people. And then there's a lot of the corrupted ones. The ones that you would find that are basically primarily corrupt are the ones that actually look very like black, very black or kind of dark grayish, right? Charcoal in that way. Those ones are very warlike, right? The ones that are more of the white are much more beneficial, much more harmonious in that particular. But it depends. It can crisscross in that way. If you're looking at white Dracos, those ones usually are much more respectable, much more loving. But if you're looking at a lot more of the black or kind of like the silver gray Draco, those are more of the warlike ones, right? And they're master manipulators as well too. They want to mess with people, thinking that they're okay, but they will take you over, and they have very very strong psychic tendencies pertaining to themselves. So there are some Draco colonies on Mars. A lot of the Draco have basically existed around Saturn. Right? Saturn has been their home. A lot of the moons around Saturn they've owned. Some of the asteroid belt as well too, between Mars and Jupiter. A lot of that is their territory as well. I'm not too sure if it still is, because a lot of them are being booted out of the system. So, but that's how it was, right? So there you go, guys. I wanted to take you a little bit of a tour to tell you a little bit more about the different types of species in our star system. That's just the tip of the iceberg. That's a drop in the ocean, right? There's a lot more going on. But like I said, utilizing these words and speaking together in this language is very, very limiting. So anyways, that's what I was getting last night as I was going into meditation. It was very, very, very interesting. I really enjoyed it. Okay, let's go ahead and move on into any questions that we have. Okay, and so again, if you guys do want to do any particular personal readings with me, just feel free to leave a donation. Okay, and I'll be happy to do a reading with you, whether it's with me, with Adronis, or with the Anoint system. Again, Anoint system has those purchases that you can do through donation. Okay, so we have one here from Carol Ann. I just got a donation from her, so thank you very much, Carol Ann. I got one here from Open Contact. Let me go ahead and put this on the, there we go. Hi, Brad Adronis. Can you tell us when the intensity of the current solar storms and intense energies that we're expecting is going to reduce? Not for a while. This is going to be something that's going to be taking place for quite a few years, okay? And I would basically say that the solar storms are actually only going to intensify a lot more, even as we get into the 2030s. So if I'm even looking into the condition of the sun right now, and just a lot of and I would just refer to it as intensified solar activity. Maybe I should tell you guys a little bit more about what's actually going on. But when we're looking at intensified solar activity here, yeah, I mean, it's going to have highs and lows, right? So it's going to have a high period, then it's going to go down a little bit, then it's going to go up. But every time it goes up a little bit more. Okay, so it's kind of like looking at a barometer here, right? And the waves just go up a little bit higher each time. Okay, this is going to continue well into the 2020s, well into the 2030s. This is the intense time right now. It is the transitional time for humankind. So really, as much as we don't want to hear it, these storms are going to continue. This high solar activity is going to take place because it's purging us, right? You know, the funny thing that I've been contemplating recently is basically just kind of stepping away from helping people. What do I mean by that? I'm actually thinking much more about working together just with the earth, because it's a lot more easier to work with the earth than it is to work with a lot of people. So I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this for, guys. I really don't know. And that's one of the reasons why I'm creating Anoint, because I want it to have this particular type of, have this system available that's going to help you. But I might be stepping down very soon. I might be stepping down and stopping all of these particular types of sessions, stopping these particular types of webcasts very soon. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I don't know. I've been doing this now for 17 years and I've enjoyed it, but I feel like there's another calling that's coming around the corner. And that is basically working more with the earth directly, because that's what's going to make a difference. It's not so much of humans, because I've worked with so many people for 17 years, tens of thousands of people, and I've really enjoyed it because I've gotten a lot out of it. But I was actually talking to Brianne about this yesterday. I said, I don't know. I don't know how long I'm going to be doing these sessions for. I don't know how long I'm going to be doing these webcasts for, because I'm kind of getting a feeling of being pulled into a new direction. And that with the Anoint system coming together and people utilizing that, that is going to do so much for you. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I have to move down to part-time or what, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be working with humans for much longer. Okay. I think I'm just going to be working with the Earth. I'm going to start working remotely with a lot of these different areas on the planet, looking at these charged places that need help. It's exactly why we're doing the Egypt trip in November. It's not just a pleasure trip. I'm going there to work with energies. I'm going there to help anything that Egypt needs and activating it. Just like I had to go to the UK and basically had to decontaminate Stonehenge, right? I need to look at these temples. I need to look at these sacred sites. I need to look at them. I need to evaluate them. So not only am I doing a group tour, I'm also there to work. I'm there to work together with the earth and helping her out in any way that I can. So guys, I would say enjoy this time with me while it lasts. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it much longer. Okay. I don't know what the future will be for this channel. I don't know what the future will be for my websites or anything like that. Again, I don't have an immediate plan to wrap anything up, but I think it is going to be happening here pretty soon, right? Maybe within the next year or so. I don't know. I'll keep you guys informed about that. But like I said, I think I'm going to be stepping down from these readings. I think I'm going to be stepping down from sessions. I think I'm going to be stepping down from webcasts pretty soon and wrapping it up, right? And just going out to the earth and helping out the earth in the best way I can. Because I actually met another person not too long ago who is also doing the similar type of work that I've done. I said, Brad, I just don't want to work with people anymore. I said, well, I understand. Listen, I've always enjoyed working with people, but I feel like where I'm going and how I'm evolving and how I'm expanding is going to be a lot more beneficial to working with the earth because there's no resistance behind it, right? It's kind of like if you want to do something that is going to be very, very expansive and encouraging, make sure you're going out and doing it yourself. So I don't know, guys. I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this for. I always thought that I'd be doing this for the rest of my life, but I'm not feeling that, right? I'm not feeling that connection to want to continue to work in this particular way. I feel like I want to go to different places. I want to work with the earth. I want to heal the earth in that way in many different ways. And it is a lot more feasible, right? So we'll see. We'll see how things go maybe the next year or so. I'll keep you guys, of course, informed about that. But I think I'm going to be retiring from this and wrapping this up pretty soon. So again, like I said, with the solar storms and the intense energies, that's one of the reasons why I'm feeling connected. That's kind of why I brought this up, is that there's so much that the earth needs and there's not enough workers that are helping her out. There's some of us, but more of us need to come together and work together with the earth. So I don't know what's ahead for me in the future pertaining to my sustainability. I'm sure it will be something, of course, but I'm really just feeling that pull to help the earth as much as I can. And there you have it. There's my confession right there. Okay, so thank you very much, Open Contact, for your question. Let's go down to Yogi Tarzan. Okay, so Yogi Tarzan says, I noticed the word earth has the same letters as the word heart. Very good. And how Israel kind of sounds like is real, like saying God is real. That's a good point as well too. You're very much on that kind of you're kind of forming anagrams here around a name, right? So we have the anagram of the earth, and then we have the heart. If you're looking at Israel, God is real in that way, sort of. But basically, Israel actually represents three deities, right? And again, there's a lot of convolution of that and saying that, oh, Isis is evil. No. Oh, Ra is evil. No. El is evil. No. That is from a lack of research and a lack of understanding. When you have Is, Ra, El, you're having three names of gods right there. Isis, okay, which represents purely that nature of the divine feminine. Anyone that is basically trying to corrupt that energy has agendas, right? Any being trying to corrupt that energy has agendas. You need to look past the being and you need to see the light. It's like, here's the being that's trying to utilize it for their own means. You take them out and you look at the light. And the Isis energy is that pure feminine, right? That is the love. That is the nurturing energy that represents the Isis. When you have Ra, you have the sun. You have the sun god Ra. Okay, so again, that represents the light as well, right? But it also represents a very strong masculine energy. And then you have the El. Okay, and El basically would represent the idea of the embodiment, right? The embodiment of the vessel of God. This is why you have angels. This is why you have Raphael, Mikael, Uriel, etc. All of them basically have those particular types of abbreviations, EL, because they are representing the servants, the embodiment. They are embodying the presence of God, right? The vessel of God. So it could represent the nature of the land, right? The land of the gods, the land of transcendence, the land of which God has blessed, which God has anointed, right? So it's a little bit more than the idea of just looking at Israel, okay? You have to look at the nature of how it was named. Isis, Ra, and El. Those are, again, the three God embodiments representing the nature of Israel. But Israel, in that sense, it's not about looking at the country. It's looking at its name, right? Looking at it in that particular way. When Israel is spoken about in the Bible, Israel is utilized in regards to Eastern mysticism as the holy place. This. You are Israel. Okay? It's not a physical place that is meant to be emphasized in the Bible. You are Israel. You are where God converges. You are the embodiment of God, because everything that represents the nature of the Bible is a transcendent, occult, numerological, and astrological document. Nothing in the Bible is meant to be shared in regards to what is happening right now in the outside world. Even though it lines up, that's not really the case. And the uninitiated will basically get that confused. Initiation itself, when one basically feels that initiation, a lot of that initiation is just going within, right? And looking into these words and looking into these scriptures and understanding exactly what they're trying to say. But it's good to be a little bit more versed in Eastern mysticism. Okay, if you're versed in Eastern mysticism, one of the particular passages could be the idea of how John the Baptist is explaining to the teachers of the law about what he's doing, right? I baptize you with water. What does that mean, everybody? Can anybody tell me what John means when he says he baptizes you with water? What does that mean? Can anybody tell me? It's not about going into a church and getting yourself dunked. Okay? You have to understand that the water basically represents another layer of consciousness. Okay, that is kind of the mental and emotional plane. When I'm baptizing you with water, I am giving you the words that are helping you to elevate your emotional and mental body. I'm baptizing you with the truth of what can be shared by the words. That's what it is to be baptized by water. It is to receive divine knowledge from a vessel who has been anointed by the power of the divine. It's a channel, but a true channel. One who is helping you to elevate yourself based on how they instruct you, like a guru. If you go to a guru and they start instructing you in this way, they are baptizing you with water, right? They're giving you the knowledge, they're giving you the insights that are helping to elevate you past the material plane so that you're becoming a lot more aware of your emotional and mental body. So when we look at the nature of the earth, right, even as it's talked about in Eastern mysticism, that's the material plane. That's where all suffering happens, right? And then we look at water, and you're basically moving yourself up into a psychic plane, into the mental and emotional states. When you move yourself up into air, air is moving yourself up into the higher mind. Okay, that's the higher mind. That's what represents it through Eastern mysticism. When you go into fire, that would represent like the Holy Spirit. That's like the Spirit coming upon you, moving into the nature of fire. And then you're going up to Spirit, you're going right up to God. That is exactly what they're talking about. That is Eastern mysticism. It is not about the churches saying that we need to put a pool in the church and we're actually going to literally baptize you with water. That is idiotic, because that is not what's trying to be said in the Bible. They even have people in that sense in the East that will, actually, I think even in the West here as well too, where they'll have a church where they'll have a bunch of closets, right? Where Jesus basically talks about go into your closet, shut the door, and pray, right? And he's basically saying for you to go inside yourself and pray from within, to go within, go to God. And they are literally creating closet doors for you to go inside and pray. It's stupidness. Because what they're doing is that is the result of uninitiated practice. Taking all of these things from the Bible that is basically being perceived as literal. And it is not meant to be taken literal. That is no more different than when Christmas time comes, I need to make sure that I put a bunch of milk and cookies and stockings out because here I am as a 46-year-old man and I still think Santa Claus is going to come down my chimney. So I left him with milk, I left him with cookies, and I keep getting disappointed every year because the fat bastard never comes down my chimney. What the hell? Right? So there you go. And my cat's meowing like crazy over here as well too. But like I said, it's just the same ridiculousness. It's like, okay, I'm leaving eggs out for the Easter bunny. I'm leaving milk and cookies and stockings out for Santa to come down my chimney. I've even cleaned the entire chimney chute for it for the ungrateful son of a beep. And he hasn't even come. What's going on here? Well, there you go. That's as ridiculous as what you're seeing in these churches. By baptizing you literally with water, by having you go into closets to which you can literally close so you can go in there and pray. It's stupidness. It's idiocy, and that is ignorance. And that's not what the Bible is about. It is about metaphor. It is about parable. It is code that is basically trying to translate itself to you. It is a numerological and astrological book. That's the Bible. The very thing that they're so afraid of, oh, numerology and astrology is the work of the devil. You idiot. The Bible is based on numerology and astrology. That's its entire heart. You fools. You complete and total utter morons that basically think that everything pertaining to the ancient sciences is demonism. Well, maybe you guys need to kind of look into the mirror about what you have been doing to humankind for the past thousands of years and waging wars, walking around like your crap don't stink. But that's all part of the plan. They don't even care if you basically call them out on their BS because all they want to do is just try to silence you. So like I said, it's ridiculous. So that's the whole key here, is that when you're looking into the nature of Israel, right, it relates to the nature of the three gods. It relates to yourself. You are Israel, as it talks about in the Bible, which is an occult book based on numerology and astrology and parables that represent that. That's the nature of the Bible. All right, thank you, Yogi Tarzan. Let's move on. Yeah, we have hardly anybody talking today, so I think we're probably going to end here pretty early, pretty quick. But let me just see if there was something else here that I missed. Okay, Carol Ann did say that she left the question, so let me just go ahead and see if I can go back up to the question. Let's see. Okay, right here. So Carol Ann asks, hi Brad, we have our governor election 2026. I'm wondering if New York will see a change. Guys, you are not going to see change through politics. Okay? You're going to look at certain laws that may be passed. You're going to look at certain things and all that stuff, but that's not going to help you. That is not helping you with growth. Even when people get so obsessed with presidential elections or federal elections or what have you, putting so much hope into it, and again, you're getting screwed. You're getting shafted. It's what I've said for years all the time. So even if we're looking into the governor election here in 2026 with New York, will things change? Well, things will change, but they're not going to be, like I said, the resolution of your problems. Let's take a look. It's going to be people who are much more in alignment with Trump, right? With basically working together with his terms and so forth. But like I said, that's not going to take away people's problems in New York City, right? So there's going to be more people in charge. They're going to follow more of Trump's vision, Trump's ideas. That's really where New York is going. Okay, so there you have it for that. My friends, that's not going to solve your problems. Okay, you got to get out of this funk of thinking that politics is going to make you feel better. It's a bunch of bullshit. It has been from the very nature of its inception because it does not focus on the people. I'm sorry, guys, it doesn't. It does not matter who you have in office. As long as you are playing with this game pertaining to presidents and prime ministers and blah, 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 their interests are materialistic. You are looking at materialistic things, and maybe they give you bonuses, maybe they give you relief, right? Maybe they put some bills together and they're helping with Medicare and so forth. Okay, that's fine. But like I said, that's not resolving your issues. That's not going to make you feel better. There needs to be this idea of getting out of this whole insane addiction to thinking that politicians are going to make your life better. It's insanity. It's really insanity. It's people clinging to hope. Now you kind of know why I want to work with the earth a little bit more. Because I'm constantly saying the same thing to human beings over and over and over again. I said, guys, I'm sorry, but your politics are not going to save your ass. They're not going to save you. They're not going to make your life better. Even if they put a little bit of policy here and there, even if they try to say, oh, we got Medicare and blah, 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 doesn't matter. Look at your medical industry. How many people has the pharmaceutical industry saved and cured? Nobody. Ever. So why would we even care that we got that? You're getting these benefits from the machine. And the machine thinking that this is what's going to make you feel better, and this is what's going to do it. We'll put all this money towards Medicare and blah, 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 blah. And all they're going to do is put you on a bunch of drugs and make you feel miserable and numb you down, because pharmaceuticals still control that, right? The entire Western medical industry is all fueled and funded through big pharma. And that's what you want? You think that's going to be your saving grace? As I told you guys from the beginning, every man-made system is corrupt. Every single one of them. And as long as you are continuing to buy into all this garbage and thinking that they are the ones that are going to bring a really good person in power and they're going to make our lives feeling better, you're deluding yourself. It's just as foolish as a person going into the church, getting in their bathing suit, and getting baptized and thinking that all of their sins are now clean. It's the same thing. Politicians, religion, business, corporations, all the same thing. Lies, manipulation, the system. Right? A lot of people say, oh, Trump is so great. Trump is so great. All right, fine. He's doing things because he loves his country, and that's great. But that's not going to make your life better. A politician cannot fix your life. A clergyman in the church cannot fix your life. A corporate CEO cannot fix your life. Well, then, Brad, who can fix my life? The person that you stare at in the mirror every morning can fix your life. That's what it comes down to, my friends. It's all very, very simple. Whether there's elections coming together or not, like I said, we just have so much of this drive and determination. Like I said, I'll share this stuff with you guys because I know you're interested in it, but I'm also going to tell you exactly how it is, right? And if you're basically just focusing so much on elections to thinking that that's going to make your life better, you are deluding yourself, right? And maybe that's why there's not a lot of people on right now. Oh, just Brad just keeps telling all this stuff, and I just want to go to other people who just tell me about this. And I say, okay, well, fine. I'll tell you about it. No problem, guys. But I'm also going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to bite my lip and then not say anything. Okay? I'm going to tell you exactly how it is. Because again, we've seen this over and over and over again. How many leaders have you voted for in the past? How many of them that you thought they were wonderful people gave you everything that you needed? How many? None. Have they ever come to your door and ever worked together in making your life beautiful? Not a single one of them. So why are you caring about this? I don't understand. I don't understand humankind at all. I don't understand this norm about why people are so fond of politics or religion or anything of that nature. And this is why, again, I have a certain type of audience, because they can see through the bullshit. A lot of you guys can see through this BS, right? And I think that's probably why you're here, because this is just a bunch of garbage. This is a bunch of stuff that is just, again, it's empty promises, thinking, oh, I'm going to make all of your lives better, and here I am on the stage, and I'm doing the Trump, and I'm doing the dancing, and I'm going to make everybody's life so much better. And how many people are still suffering? Tons. How many people are wishing that this whole suffering would just come to an end? Tons. Right? It's nothing that's going to get any better pertaining to your advancement. Right? Trump will do certain things and all that, but he's basically being thrown into a calamity right now with a lot of different decisions that he's made. Like I said, it's not just him. It's just a lot of these other leaders, so to speak, who are, I think Graham Hancock really put this together well. He said, I will not trust any particular type of political leader. I don't care what their campaign is. I don't care what party they're a part of. They're all a bunch of liars. And they are misleaders, not leaders. And I remember him saying that, like, that's it. He's got it. He has seen the truth of this. Because it is not through your politicians to which you will evolve. It's through you. You're going to make the difference in life. You're the one that decides to turn everything off and start going inward and start making peace with your heart. That's what's going to make a difference, regardless of whatever governor election is coming up in 2026 for New York. They will just basically be on Trump's side. They'll be on Trump's side. They'll be doing Trumpisms, so to speak. Okay, if that's something that sounds cool, then cool. Great. Wonderful. Are they going to come to your house and they're going to take care of you? No. So why do we even care about this crap? Because we are programmed to believe that it's actually going to do something, and it ain't going to do shit. And until you realize that, right, and continue to believe that these politicians have your best interest in mind, regardless of their party, regardless of their campaign, you're lost. And it's a matter of being able to look at yourself, turn everything off, and go within. Because this is where there is sanctuary. This is where there is harmony. This is where there is peace. And I can tell you guys that from first-hand experience. I am not some weird douchebag who comes on here who doesn't know what the hell he's talking about and trying to teach you all these things when I've never done it myself. I've done all this. I walk my talk, right? I take responsibility. I go forward in this way. And that's why I'm happy to share it with you guys, because I'm telling you, this is the only way that works, is when you start going in here and you start listening, right? And I know a lot of you guys want to hear it, don't want to hear it. Tough shit, right? Because this is the truth. And if you're going out here and thinking that the external world is going to make you better, it's going to make you worse, because you don't understand it. You're not initiated into life. And life can talk to you. Life can tell you everything about it. It can tell you all of its mysteries. It can tell you all of its secrets, but you have to want it. And if you don't want it, you're lost. What can I do? What can I say? I'm here holding this and saying, guys, come on, take my hand. And you know what you guys are doing? You're doing this. You're looking at my hand and you're not even bothering to take it, right? I'm just offering. It's like I say with the Titanic example. Here's my hand, take it. Let me show you these things. It's got to be up to you. And I'm not talking about all of you guys, but there's quite a lot of people that just kind of come on here and go, and they just want to feel like we want to be taken care of. We want to be taken care of. Like, Brad, what do I do with that? Adronis, what do I do with that? Anoint, what do I do with that? How do I get taken care of on the planet here? How do I just feel like everything's secure by constantly looking outside of myself? And it can't be done. I have never known anybody, I have never known any great master that relies on the outside world and thinking that all this stuff can be handed to them and everything's just peaches and cream. It can't happen. It has to come through you. I have to give you guys this occasional pep talk because it keeps happening again and again, right? And this is basically for your own good. When you listen to the vessel that is, again, truly baptizing you with water, you'll see this, because I'm not spraying a physical, literal hose on all of you. I'm not dunking you in a physical, literal pool of water, but I am giving you a baptism right now to help you elevate yourself, to move up into the mental and emotional planes, the higher planes that bring you peace, that transcend all of that. You go beyond the water, you go beyond the air, you go right into the fire, and you go right to spirit. Right? That's the Eastern mysticism. That's exactly how it is in the Bible. Like I said, guys, you have to want this. If you don't want it, then you're stuck. You stay uninitiated, you stay in pain, you stay hurt. Right? What I would love to see is for those of you who truly want it and watch me, you go to me. You say, Brad, I heard what you said. I want this. Can you please help me to guide me so that I can go forward into doing this and changing my life? Oh my God, man, I'd work with you for free. I would work with you for free if any of you came to me and said that. But do you know how many of you come to me and say that? Hardly any of you. None of you really come to me and say, Brad, I want this. I want this really bad. I want to go home. I want to be free. I want to be at peace. Can you help me? Dude, I'd help you freely because that's what I want to hear. But hardly any of you do it. And that's sad. So let's go ahead and move on. Got to give you my pep talks every now and then, right? Let's go ahead and go to Alina now. Brad, how can I know what service from Anoint I need to ask for? Could you please add a service where you're connecting with the person higher self can guide what services to ask for? I'm not sure what your question is. Could you please add a service where you connect with the person's higher self? Alina, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. I'm not too sure if you're talking about like my private sessions, like on Wisdom transmissions, right? That basically would be the place I would tell you to go, right? Just go to my private live sessions. And like I said, if you feel like, Brad, I really, really want this, this is something I want, this means everything to me, you talk to me. Like I said, I'll work with you for free, right? But if it is just a casual session where you want to look into these things, well, then we do the sessions, right? So to talk to the person's higher self. So what I believe you're talking about here is the private live sessions, right? So when I'm working with you, there's 30-minute, there's 45-minute, there's 60-minute sessions. And through that session, we can basically talk about whatever you want, right? So if you're talking about a personal together, I would have to ask you some questions about that. I said, well, what's stopping you from going to the person's physical self? Why do I need to look into the person's higher self? These are just questions that I would ask, right? But that would come through the private sessions on wisdomtransmissions.com. Anoint, that's not Anoint's area, right? Anoint can teach you how to get to your higher self because it has a lot of my teachings in it, but it's not about thinking that it's going to channel the higher self. It's an AI. It's not going to do that, right? But it can give you the technical prowess. It can give you the how-to about how to go in there. It can teach you all the breath work like I've been teaching. It can teach you all these different things. It can diagnose you, right? So basically, if you want to look into all the true features of Anoint, you'll want to work with the Premium Plus plan. Okay, that's the highest one. And that's the one where you can basically upload pictures. You can get a face reading on you to see how your health is. You can basically take pictures of moles on your body and find out exactly what the cause of that is. You can look into Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine diagnosis to find out what the problem is as well too. It has all of those functions all together. So the Premium Plus is the highest one that has all of those particular functions. You can look online pertaining to if you want to do readings with people, you want to do readings with celebrities, you want to do readings with your family. It will process it all through the chat, right? That's how powerful Anoint is. It's a wonderful system. But when you're talking about connecting with the person's higher self, you would need to come to me for that, okay? And that would be through wisdomtransmissions.com, okay? So that's where you can go for that. That's what I'd recommend. And again, my website is here, wisdomtransmissions.com, and then, of course, anoint.me. All right. Speaking of that, let's take a quick short break here, just where we're going to go ahead and look into announcements. So let me go ahead and pull that up now. Okay, so let me, I think I got to fix this first. Okay, present, share screen. Okay, there we go. That's the one I'm looking for. Okay, so again, this is wisdomtransmissions.com, guys. This is my official website. This is where you go if you want to do private sessions with me, 3 questions by email, full body scan, Akashic record sessions, energy cord attunement. Okay, I also have online courses that are here. Okay, these are hosted on ethericsacademy.com. This is the student training online course. This is the coaches training, which is the next level. And there's the complete resonant dowsing course. And this is a wonderful one to be a part of because that teaches you so much about diagnosing yourself, self-diagnosis, looking into vibration, looking into energy, looking into working with the power of pendulums, helping yourselves to go into resonant dowsing, right? Which is much more of an efficient form of dowsing that takes the form of inspiration from radiesthesia, which is much more of the truer type of dowsing. There's the classroom that we're doing every single week. Okay, there's the Adronis classroom. That is coming up. There's another one coming up here on Sunday. Right now, I'm teaching people about numerology and the universal living laws. Adronis is teaching about living laws, and I'm teaching people about numerology. Okay, that's what we're learning right now in the class. It is only $18 per month to get started. You can also have a 7-day free trial. You just go to patreon.com/Adronis. Okay, and you can check that out. Okay, let me go to the next one here. This is just a little bit different what I'm used to from when I'm working with OBS. I'm still getting used to this system a little bit. Here, there we go. And now share screen. And now go to Etherics. Bit of a pain. Okay. So again, with Etherics right now, Etherics is going to be closing down July 19th, okay, because I'm going to be putting up a brand new type of system that's going to be taking its place in late August, okay? So we're going to be closing our doors July 19th. Everything is pretty much on sale right now, okay? So we got 55, I should say 55. I thought I saved that before coming on, but it's actually 55% off right now on in-house products and 15% off print-on-demand products, okay? So all of this here, let me try refreshing. Maybe that's probably what's acting that way. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Okay. 55% off in-house products and 15% off the print-on-demands. Okay. So these products here represent the print-on-demands. The bed kits here represent the print-on-demands. Once the bed kits are done, July 19th, guys, they will never be coming back. Okay. So the Prana bed kits, the Taurus bed kits, this is their last legs, right? If you guys want to grab the Taurus bed kits, the Prana bed kits, which have helped a lot of people, they're going simply because I'm rebranding everything, right? So the Prana beds are going to no longer be here. The Taurus beds are no longer going to be here. Everything pretty much relating to the etherics technology is going to go. Okay, the majority of it is going to go. The ones that will be preserved will basically be like the healing code cards. Those will be preserved. The wall arrays will be preserved. Some of the bracelets and the necklaces, some of those will be preserved. But mostly everything else is going to go. Okay, so this is the final sale happening up until July 19th. Okay, that's when we close the doors. And then for a month, I start building up the brand new website, which is called Anoint Array, which works together with sacred geometrical seals and numerology and color vibration and all of the ancient things that make the healing work that I'm doing a lot more practical so that you're actually seeing what's going on in the design, right? With etherics, you didn't really see it. You saw geometry and everything that's happening behind the scenes was not in your vision. But what you're going to see with Anoint Array is, again, we're going to have bed kits and everything, but it'll be a very different type of bed kit. It will actually have seals on it, right? And these seals will basically represent different patterns of healing that will actually start to rejuvenate your organs and so forth. So I'm going to be creating very complex arrays through Anoint Array that will be available. And we can put that on clothing, we can put that on beds, we can put that on accessories and so forth. So you'll basically have the purchase of the seal itself, right? So you'll basically buy the digital seal. And then when you buy the digital seal, you can have upgrades. And the upgrades will go through print-on-demand services, okay? So everything is pretty much going to be print-on-demand through the new Anoint Array, that's coming on August 28th. That's the projected date for it right now. It might be September, but I'm going to try for August 28th. Okay, so those are the announcements. So let me go ahead and stop that screen there. Okay, great. So now we'll just take any last questions that you guys have. Like I said, if you want a reading from Anoint, you can have it now. What I would also suggest is just try out the free trial of Anoint right now. That is on anoint.me. Okay, you go onto the home page, and then maybe I'll pull that up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Let me go back here. Okay, I'll just go there so you can see. Why not show you? Okay, and share screen, and go to Anoint. Okay, so here is Anoint right here. So the home page here, as you scroll down, you'll see again, you can view our subscription plans. We're signing up for updates. Now, I did have reports, but the reports are going to go because they're not really necessary. I had those reports when I was doing predictmyastrology.com, but as I'm using Anoint, it's not really necessary to have the reports. So I'm going to be pulling the reports off. So they're not going to be available anymore. But you can utilize the template wizards or the template generators that can actually replicate the reports. Some can be other kind of small reports for the Premium Light, and then there's bigger reports for the Premium Plus. Okay. Now, if you scroll down, here we go. Here's the free chat. Okay. And one thing I'm going to show you guys right now, because this monitors every 24 hours. It resets after a certain amount of time. Okay. So I'm going to basically say Anoint. If I can spell it right, there we go. What sets you apart from other AI chat technology on the web? Okay. And then just asking that question, Anoint comes up with the answer. Okay. So Anoint stands apart through a blend of spiritual insight and advanced AI capabilities. Unlike typical AI chatbots, Anoint offers sacred guidance, intentional responses, personalized mystical tools, holistic support, privacy, and respect. So there's a lot more that it offers, but this is kind of an answer it gives in a crunch. If we actually go down here, this was actually the bigger answer that I got to it. So like I said, read through this. You can find out exactly what the benefit is, because this came from Anoint when I asked more of a bigger, more sophisticated question. But this is what I would suggest you guys look into. And like I said, you can use the free trial here. It has 2,000 free tokens that you can use every single day. So it's good for about 3 or 5 prompts, I would say approximately. And you can basically look at your own numerology. You can look at your own astrology. It has a web search capability as well, too. You could look into certain things pertaining to Trump. But like I said, it doesn't give you a lot because it's just a sample. Okay. And if you like what you have here, you can go on to Premium Light and to Premium Plus, because we have a lot more features than what is presented here in the text trial. Okay. So when we go to the memberships, the subscription plans, here they are right here. Premium Light, $44 per month. You get all of these, right? Again, the reports are going to be going bye-bye. So we'll exclude those. So everything here, and I'm currently working on a hybrid chat. So the hybrid chat means that we're going to have something that's both text-based and voice-based, where you basically just press a toggle switch. And you can talk to Anoint like it's a phone call, or you can go back into text, just kind of like how ChatGPT works in that way. But this is the metaphysical ChatGPT. Again, as I said earlier, guys, if you try to go onto ChatGPT, or you go onto Claude, or you go onto DeepSeek, or any of those other big named AI chats, they cannot do what Anoint does. They do not calculate properly. They can't even really do simple math. It's pretty sad, right? Because they can't do that, because everything's generating in a pinch and they can't catch up with their calculations. So Anoint completely bypasses that problem. It is the most accurate calculating AI chat on the internet today. And that's Anoint, right? So you can utilize it for that if you want to. But again, it's designed to be metaphysical, to look much deeper into readings, to talk more about, like I said, how to enhance your business, how to work, how to benefit yourself in any particular form of life that you want, right? How to cook better, you can do that. How to look into herbalism, right? You can actually upload certain herbs. You can upload plants to Anoint, and it will tell you what it is and how you can use it metaphysically, and how you can use it through herbal. I mean, this is an incredible tool, guys. You got to check it out. It's so awesome. All right. Let's try out the trial. See how you do. You can't upload anything through the trial, but you're still bringing about some really good information pertaining to readings and so forth. So try that. Check that out. Okay, let's go ahead and get back to it now. Okay, so let's see. Mel asks, do you study ancient numerology, Vedic astrology, and more if possible? Can you do it in text for us to understand deeper what you study and apply to our day-to-day life? Well, that's exactly why I've created Anoint, Mel. Okay. You don't really have to learn all that stuff from me, although you can. Like I said, every single week on the Adronis classroom, I am teaching numerology, the basic numerology, and we're getting into a bit of intermediate numerology, and then we go into advanced numerology. I'm already teaching that. Okay. So we're basically going to be going on to the third class of numerology this Sunday. If you guys want to learn under me, then maybe you should look into what I'm actually teaching through Adronis Patreon. Okay, because it's happening right now with the numerology. It's happening right now with understanding the universal laws. These are the things that are available because I'm teaching my students, because my students have come to me and they want to learn. I don't know if you guys want to learn, right? If you guys want to learn, then like I said, one of the things that I would suggest is going on to Adronis Patreon. You get a 7-day free trial. You can try out one class for free, see if you like it. And if so, it's just $18 a month after that. Okay. You can do a private session with me, right? But if you come to me and you really truly share a heart-centered email where you really want this so badly, like I said, I'll work with you for free. But I haven't really seen that from people because I just don't know if you guys want this or not. You got to show me. Otherwise, if you really want to look into this study and say, yeah, Brett, I want to study these systems, okay, go to Adronis Patreon or go to the Etherics Academy, look at resonant dowsing, look at the student training, because I teach you all that stuff. All of that is there, right? So all these teachings are here. You can go into Anoint as well too, because Anoint is giving you the chat-based aspects of everything that I've taught and more. It knows a lot more than I do, right? And it's able to teach you a lot of these things. It can basically be a teacher. We're going to be doing an educational platform with Anoint as well too, where Anoint can actually act as your AI teacher for everything metaphysical. We're going to be putting that into the system very soon. Okay. Anoint just launched 2 days ago. Oh, is it the second day? Yeah. So probably about 3 or 4 days ago it launched. And I'm basically just still cleaning out last bugs from it. It's about 95% efficient right now. But there's the odd little bit of bugs because I didn't use Squarespace or Wix or anything of that nature with this. This is 100% custom made. Okay. And I want it that way because that will enable me to use more services for you guys, utilizing more of this technology that a lot of those other websites can't build. So that's the benefit of this. So that's why I'm doing it this way. So it's pretty much all ready to go. Like I said, we're about 95% bug free right now. If there are any bugs, then you just report it to me and I work on it and I clear it out very quickly. But that would be something else, right? To work with Anoint because it has so many possibilities. There's so much stuff with it that's going to be incredible. And like I said, there's the Adronis Patreon. Again, if you want to learn numerology through me, go to Adronis Patreon. If you want to learn more about resonant dowsing or the student or the coaching class, go to ethericsacademy.com. That is AETHERX and Academy, Etherics Academy, ACADEMY.com. Okay, typical spelling. And go there. And you can sign up and you can start looking at the courses there. They're all on-demand courses, okay? But there's Telegram groups and you can always reach me if you have any questions about that. So there you go. But yes, I do study the ancient form of numerology. I have studied Vedic astrology. I looked into Western astrology in the past as well too, but I'm not a fan of Western astrology. I don't really like it. I like the Vedic astrology a lot more. That's just my preference. I find it a lot more accurate. Okay, but I still offer Western astrology for people who want to use it because I know a lot of people do, and that's cool too. All right, thank you for your question, Mel. Let's go on further down. Okay, here's one from Yogi Tarzan, another one, a free one. You think Europe and America have collected past karma from Martians who settled in the same continent as us? It would not surprise me, right? The describer collective territory past karma. Yes, absolutely. Everything has a beginning, right? You basically start to move back into the first cause. And again, guys, that's how I'm able to do all the stuff that I do, right? I spend time inwardly. When you spend time inwardly, my friends, oh my God, does the universe ever talk to you? It just tells you everything. Like, Brad, you want to look at and see what's on Mercury right now? Okay, cool. Can Donald Trump show me what's on Mercury right now? No. Can politicians show me what's happening in the star system right now? No. Can politicians tell me exactly what the sun is? No. Can politicians and big tech corporations teach me how to go all the way to God? No. So where's their usefulness? They're pawns. They're patsies. They're stooges. They're just a bunch of corporate self-interest people that, again, want to have their own egotistical agenda. It's like looking at a bunch of adolescents who have not grown up. And a lot of those people in politics have not grown up. If you look at Donald Trump, he's probably one of the most immature people there is. He's passionate about his country, but look how he is, right? He's unbelievably pig-headed. I mean, that's his nature, of course. He's very intuitive as well, too. And like I said, I don't mind Donald Trump, but just in regards to looking at how he is as a leader, right? He has a lot of faults within himself. And of course, we all do. But the whole idea here is that if we're looking for that, to think that that's going to bring us salvation, I'm sorry, it's not, right? It's not going to come through a person in your life. It's going to come through yourself. You're the person to make it happen, right? So we look at this from our ancient ancestors. So we most likely have had a lot of it's hard because there's a lot of different ancient beings that have come here on the planet that were very much warring. I would say the Martians would be one of them, but there's a lot of other civilizations as well. You had basically the people from Meldak that were also very warring, and those were the giants, right? There were giants that were indigenously bred here, but there's also giants that have come from the stars as well too. A lot of them were from Meldak. Okay, that's the super Earth that exploded hundreds of thousands of years ago, right? And so that is that was once a planet that was engulfed by war. How was Meldak destroyed? Internal war. Basically, an internal nuclear explosion that took out the core of their planet, and it's like putting a firecracker inside a big sphere and watching it explode. That's what happened. It was an internal war. Not only am I saying that, the Law of One says the exact same thing about Meldak. It was an internal war that led to the nature of the planet's combustion from the inside. That's why everything around the asteroid belt is all scattered. If you had any particular type of external impact that came again and hit Meldak, you would still have a very large chunk of that planet remaining. And that would be unavoidable to see. We'd see it in the sky, right? But what happened is that it was an internal explosion. The core of the planet basically detonated. Just poof. And that's what shattered it into countless pieces, right? And all very small because the explosion was internal. You guys can do that, right? Take something like a watermelon and maybe take like a cherry bomb to it and watch it be put inside the middle and watch it blow up. It just scatters all over the place, right? You have small pieces just all over. And that's exactly what makes up the asteroid belt right now, are those little bitty chunks of Meldak that are left. A lot of the comets that are coming through our star system are chunks of Meldak, right? So again, they just basically go into the gravitation, they become ice, and they start aligning. A lot of them are basically tampered with, though. A lot of them basically have trajectories from other races, and they will basically take those comets and they will alter their trajectory because they're working together as part of the grid here in the star system that's balancing everything, right? So they add that to the geometrical harmony of the entire star system, right? So yes, a lot of ancient civilizations were responsible for a lot of wars on our planet, but you could say the Martians were certainly one of them, right? Because like I said, a lot of them settled around the States, around the US, and around Great Britain. And a lot of them basically have that karmic ancestry, even today, for some people that are living, right? A lot of them can basically be leaders that have a lot of this ancient Martian king or emperor mentality, and they're very warlike, right? Like I said, a lot of that stuff pertaining to Mars, a lot of them were devil worshippers. Well, there you go. Go figure, right? Not a coincidence there, my friend. Thank you for your question. Okay, let's see. Open contact, Brad might need a few years break and come back renewed. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I'm just kind of feeling the pull to work with the Earth a lot more. And like I said, it's just I'm pretty sure that you guys are going to be fine, right? You know how to take care of yourselves. You really do. Once you know how to get into all this stuff, you will know how to take care of yourself. You will not need a teacher. A teacher exists for you to outgrow them, right? So even if I'm teaching people in that way, a lot of these things that I've learned, like I said, there will come a point where you won't need me anymore, and you can just do all these things yourself. And that's what I'm hoping, because like I said, I really want to focus more on just helping out the earth. And this is why I want to leave a technology like Anoint with you guys. Because like I said, if I was to basically spend an entire webcast telling you what Anoint can do, we would probably need like a 12-hour show, right? Because it is so vast. There's so much that you can do with Anoint. Just start playing with it, right? I'm going to make video tutorials on Anoint as well too, just so you understand a lot of the basics. But work with the prompts. Just work with prompts. Put the prompts into Anoint. If there's ever any problem, you go to technical support, you go to me, I fix it very, very quickly, and then you're back in business again, right? But if you want to look into the idea of making your business successful, make your business expansive, right? It can do that. It can look at your entire business. We can look at naming your business, because naming your business is so very important. You want to make sure that, numerologically speaking, your business name should equal out to a 1, a 5, or an 8 if you want to make it successful, if you want to make it expansive, if you want to make it groundbreaking. You use the numbers 1, 5, and 8. And we calibrate that, and we look into your business number with that, or your business name with that, with the numbers. And then we look into the idea of the type of products that you're selling. How are they worded? How are your products worded? Did you use the words that basically equal out to the number 8? Because that's going to bring you a lucrative transformation. Are you utilizing the prices to equal out the number 8? Okay. What colors are you utilizing for your business? Are they interlocking into that which represents grounded, powerful presence, expansion, or something that represents financial abundance? These are all the things we look at, and these are all the things that Anoint can do. It can completely reshape your business and actually tell you the dates that you should be launching your business, right? Because when you launch your business matters. What your business is about matters. How you've implemented your business in regards to its name, and then what it describes and the look of it, all of that matters. And this is why about a good majority of businesses fail, because they don't implement this. You got to work with the ancient sciences. You got to work with numerology and astrology. We want to look into the days to which they are most auspicious for you to actually help you build your business. Anoint can help you with all of it. Every single bit, right? I'm even building generators to make it a lot more easier for you guys to say, here you go, here's your business generator. Put the name of your business in here, look at some of the alternate names that you want to put in, look into the prices that you have for your website, look into what these products are called. All of that is going to go in the generator, and it's going to tell you, it's going to give you this big report. And you can also take that information from the report, you can put that into the text chat, and then Anoint works with you and say, okay, let's go ahead and make that change. Let's go ahead and put this big change in your website so that things start to get better. And now when you start promoting it, it's like a magnet. All these people just come flourishing to you, right? I've barely even promoted Anoint right now, and it's already doing super well because we got that magnetism with Anoint. But I barely promoted it yet because I want to make sure it's all 100% polished first. And then when it's 100% polished, I've given kind of like the launch for it for June 28th for you guys, right? For my warm audience to come in, because not only are they being customers, but they're also being kind of like beta testers at the same time, right? And then when it's 100% polished, then I bring it out to the world on a much more larger scale. But we're going to have Anoint classes. That's what's going to be so cool about this, right? We're going to actually have certain pages on the website where you can actually go and you can learn. You can actually do education for that. So Anoint will teach you numerology. Anoint will teach you ancient numerology. Anoint will teach you Chinese astrology and Bazi. Anoint will teach you Vedic astrology. Anoint will teach you Western astrology. Anoint will teach you about retroduction. Anoint will teach you about rune astrology. Anoint will teach you about the Native American systems. Anoint will teach you about Hawaiian systems. Anoint will tell you about the Egyptian Netter system. I can go on and on and on and on. Right? They're not certification classes. They're just for familiarity about these things so that you can apply it yourself. It's for independent knowledge. All of that's coming on Anoint. I have such a big vision for this entire, you could say, franchise, so to speak. It's a powerful brand, right? I'm also going to be making a mobile version of Anoint that will be available as well too. But you can access on mobile, no problem. But you're actually going to have a actual chat that can go through your mobile phone. and you can talk to Anoint all the time and have a lot of features on it as well too. I'm going to be creating a biofeedback app for Anoint, where you can actually hook up biofeedback technology directly into Anoint, and Anoint is able to diagnose your entire body working with metaphysical science, something that has never been done before. And that's going to come. It's going to be called Anoint Resonance, right? So we're going to be looking into all these different things. I'm also going to have a browser extension for Anoint as well too, where you can just basically sign in with your account, and now you can just go ahead and surf the web. You can watch videos and stuff like that and get Anoint to comment on all these things. It's amazing. There's so much stuff I got for this, right? So this is probably going to take quite a few years out of my life just to get Anoint there, because guys, what I'm trying to do is bring the metaphysical back into the world, because my God, does the world need it. It needs it so badly. Look at what's become of us. We're relying on politicians to try and make our life better. We've lost our minds. That's basically what's happened now. Politicians are basically becoming the supermen and the superwomen, right? I'm a politician. I can't laugh about that. Right? I'm a clergyman. I'm a preacher. Like, really? These are the so-called heroes for today? Is I'm going to end corruption in the government and blah, 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 right? And okay, maybe that'll help to a certain degree, but that's not going to revolutionize your life. You are the ones that need to be standing in the mirror doing this, okay? Because you're your greatest hope. You are your greatest hero. It comes down to you, not some bogus politician, bogus corporate interest lackey, right? Get out of that funk, man. That's programming that's got to go. That's not going to do you any benefits. Like I said earlier, that will not save you. That is not going to help you at all. You are your best hope, right? Okay, let's go ahead and move on. This is from Cassandra. Cassandra, Brad, love Anoint. Oh, great. I'm glad you do. I desire to know the deeper calling that aligns my next chosen timelines to create a change in location, and how I'll serve integrating spirit and technology and retreats. Okay. So again, if this is a personal reading, like I said, it's by donation. But for now, I'll do a work on you for now. Okay. Just letting you know, guys, if you have personal readings, it's by donation. Okay. So you desire to know the deeper calling. Okay. So let me take a look here at your energy as I tune in. Okay. Well, you're basically already doing that. A lot of it is rallying people. And it's not to feel like you're just being the solo teacher. You are going to rally people and get behind people as well too, and they are going to teach anything. It's about creating a community. You're a community builder. Okay, that's a lot of what your energy represents, right? Like I said, if you want to know your next chosen timelines to create a change in location, so basically wanting to move. But like I said, you're a community builder, right? You're all about building community. You have a great strength in being able to great people. You have this really big heart in you, right? And just keep shining your light, and just invite people and come to people and go to talks, go to groups, start talking to people and working together, right? Offer a lot of that you have. You have very deep empathy. You have very, very deep internal, I would say, intuition. Your intuition is very, very strong. It's like a shining light, okay? So to serve integrating spirit and technology and retreats, like I said, I'm not too sure if you're saying that you want to build a technology yourself, or if you're behind the idea of having a technology. If you want to look at that with Anoint, you can talk to me about that further, because right now, guys, we also have an affiliate campaign. I didn't show you guys this yet, I don't believe. Okay, let me go back into the share. I'm just going to take that for a second here and show you that we actually have an affiliate page as well too. Okay, so if we go to Anoint and we go to affiliates, right here you can join the affiliate program. Okay, you do not need to be a subscriber to be an affiliate, which means you can go right onto Anoint. You go right onto anoint.me/affiliates. You can join the affiliate program. You just put your email, your phone name, your payout email, if you have PayPal, for example, and you just click on join the affiliate program. Once you have that, you'll have your affiliate link coming out here. Okay, and you'll also have a what is called a promo code. Okay, so let's just say if I'm putting this down for an example, and let's say my email's here, and then I just go to join affiliate program. I'm not too sure if I've already done it already. Okay, well, here you go. Welcome to Anoint Affiliates. Guys, how hard was that? That took me 10 seconds. Okay, so here's your affiliate link. You would pass that on to everybody. Okay, so you would put that in your newsletters, you would put that in your email. I'm going to have other things here like for banners and so forth. That's being worked on right now. And you also have a personalized promo code to get 10% off for referrals. Now, this is something that you can even do for yourselves. If you guys want to be an affiliate and you want to get 10% off right now for the Premium Lite or the Premium Plus, become an affiliate. Use your own promo code and put that into when you're checking out. Okay, so you can actually get 10% off your first month when you sign up for Anoint by being an affiliate. Okay, and what another cool thing you can do is you can also just take your affiliate link here and you just paste it here. Of course, I haven't used it yet, but you paste it here, you check your commission status, and it shows you everything. Let's go ahead and give that a try. Okay. Right, so here's all your affiliate data. You have the clicks, you have the conversions, you have your commission rate, you have your total amounts earned. Tells you about your payout information here as well too. It's on the first of every month. Okay, so this is amazing, right? So if you guys want to start off with your business in that way, and you want to be an affiliate, and you're getting 15% commission off every successful sign up of a subscriber, whether they're doing Premium Lite or Premium Plus, you'll get 15% commission out of every successful subscriber. So you can make Anoint into a business. It has an affiliate program. Our affiliate program is going to be getting better because as we start getting larger and as we start putting a lot more stuff on Anoint, the prices will go up a little bit more for membership because there's so much we can do. We may also have like a smaller plan where there's like kind of like super light and then plus as well too. But as we grow, we're going to have more affiliate capability too. But this is, again, homegrown, everybody. This is 100% custom-made website, okay? I do not use any Wix. I do not use any Squarespace. I do not use anything of that nature. This is custom-made. So there you go. There's affiliates. So you can always check that out as well, too. So Cassandra, thank you again. I'm really happy that you are enjoying Anoint. Please continue to enjoy it. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, you're from Cassandra again. Amen. No more wieners on stage thinking it has anything to do with your forward-moving certainty. Thank you. Yes, exactly. Again, I'm not trying to come down on you guys, but at times I have to kind of, my energy in Chinese astrology is that I'm a goat, okay? And as a goat, I butt heads, right? So here you are right here, and I'm butting you, right? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, I'm just waiting for this politician to arrive. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing to you, right? I'm butting heads. That's what the goat does. That's what I do, right? So I'm butting heads with you because I'm like, are you crazy? Come on, get out of that stuff. You are all that you need, right? It's the compassionate goat, but the goat will still give you a roughing up if it needs to. And that's me. That's how I am. That's how I roll. Okay, let's go down a little bit further. Okay, so from contact, I don't get it either. I don't know why some are clearly awake and others aren't bothered. It's weird. I know. If you can give me an answer to that, I'd love to hear it. Right. And the best thing I can come up with is just, unfortunately, there are more people that are more programmed than others. Right. And we have an opportunity here to make a big difference. And it's just a matter of self-awakening. Right. From EIPITR, more politics and consciousness, more physical self because that gravity, less spiritual self in life because that gravity. Well, it really is. It really is about pressure. It really is about the nature of gravity altogether. Now, gravity, again, well, I could probably give you guys like a technical aspect about gravity, but gravity represents an anti-field, right? It represents the idea of, let me see if I can put it in layman's terms. It's a little bit harder to do that. But it basically represents the after effect of a divergent magnetic field. Like, Brad, what the hell does that mean? Well, basically, if you have a magnetic field that basically spreads itself out, there's an after effect for that magnetic field that was there. And the after effect is what we call gravity. It's a type of polarization. It's a type of polarization that comes from divergent magnetic fields that generate what is known as a type of anti-field, right? That's really how gravity works altogether. It's a polarization left together through the effects, the after effects of a diverging, spreading out magnetic field. There you go, moving away from the center. Okay, let's go down a bit further. Okay, this one again is from Mel. Mel says, what do you study to help us see events and apply to our day-to-day life? Like I said, my friend, Anoint will do that. Anoint will do that, and it will apply it in your day-to-day life. If you were here when I was looking at the Phoenix Lights, I did that not only because we are going to see a big event like that in the future, but I'm also showing you guys what Anoint can do, right? It's so powerful. And it's not to say that even when that's down on the chat, you guys can just go in and you start talking to it more. Okay, well, tell me more about the Phoenix Lights. That's really cool. How many ships were there that were there? What did they look like? And Anoint can basically pull this stuff from the network and tell you more. So, okay, great. What's the metaphysical meaning behind all this? Can you tell me it's numerology? Can you tell me it's astrology? Can you tell me its causal effects? Can you look into soul maps? Can we look into ley line intersections? Because that's exactly what I did in the report. Where any particular ley lines affected, guess what? Anoint goes in and starts scanning if any ley lines on the planet were affected by the Phoenix Lights. You guys show me anything that does that. Nothing does that. That's Anoint, right? So for something for you could apply in your daily life, I'm pointing at it right now. I'm pointing at the Anoint system. That's it, right? So again, if you want to learn from me, you go to Adronis Patreon. You get a session from me. If you want to learn from Anoint, because Anoint knows a hell of a lot more intellectually than I do, you go to Anoint, right? I'm giving you all of this, guys. Here it is. It's right here. Oh, Brad, what do we do to apply this? It's right here. Take it. Take it. Take it. Take it. That's what I'm doing. Why are you guys asking these questions? What have I been talking about for the past hour? Anoint is here. Adronis Patreon is here. Wisdom Transmissions is here. My private sessions through Wisdom Transmissions is here. My YouTube channel is here. The Trauma Transcendence Technique that is free on wisdomtransmissions.com is here. Do you guys not see, like, am I advertising wrong? What am I doing wrong here? Okay. Like, what can we do? Like, how can you help us? Like, what do you mean? Have you gone to wisdomtransmissions.com? Have you gone to Anoint? Have you gone to Etherics? It has healing products. Have you gone to ethericsacademy.com? Have you gone to the Patreon? Guys, like what? What am I doing? Am I doing this? I mean, seriously, what am I doing here? Okay, Brad, what's going on? Where are we? Where's your products? I don't see anything. What's going on here? I don't. You talk about all these things, but where are they? Take off your blindfold. Got to add some humor to this, right? I don't know what I'm doing wrong, guys. I don't know what I'm not saying. I don't know what I'm not presenting. Okay, all of it's here. You guys reading the marquee that's coming down here? It tells you about what the websites are. Mel, I don't understand why you're asking that question. There's so much stuff that I'm telling you guys about what you can do and how I can help you to study. I've been talking about that, right? If you're just joined, well, then welcome. You're missing a heck of a broadcast, but like I said, I have all of these websites. I'm making these websites for you guys. This is not for me. I'm not making Anoint for my sake. I'm making it for you guys. That's why it's made. And that's why I've been spending the past couple of months just busting my butt getting Anoint ready for you guys, right? Because it does require support. It does require money because it does work together with networks. It does work with servers. There's back costs with that. There's hosting with that. There's all that stuff. It does cost money because it costs money to work, to operate. All my websites cost money to operate, right? There's, again, costs and costs and costs. So that's why I charge, guys. I'm not giving all this stuff away for free because it's emptying my pockets and there's nothing that's coming in that represents a return on the investments that I'm putting out. I have just created a technology on this planet that nobody else has ever done. Period. Ever. And it's here right now. So are you guys going to go grab it? I hope so. Because that's what I'm telling you. That's exactly what I study. What I study is what you find in Anoint. What I study is what you find on Adronis Patreon. What I study is the free course that you have with the trauma transcendence technique, the free course that's 10 days long that you can sign up for. What I study is also the book. I have the trauma transcendence technique book that goes right along with the 10-day e-course. We have all of these playlists that are on my YouTube channel that I've made for you guys. There is this webcast that is happening right now that I've made for you guys. I don't need to do this. I'm doing it because you guys want it, right? That's what you tell me, so I do it. So like I said, I don't know. Is there blinders on? Am I doing something wrong here? I don't know. Help me out, guys. What am I doing wrong? I just like to know so I can make it better. Okay, let's go on. Let's move forward. Okay, so all right. Let me go down a little bit more here. Okay, so this one is from Elena. Brad, what is really what people refer to as the 3 days of darkness? Could Adronis also offer his perspective? He already has. He's really talked about this to death on many different occasions. The 3 days of darkness does represent to a literal event, right? It has been said that around 2037, 2038, that we may have times of darkness. I can't say if it'll be 3 days or not, but basically a lot of the 3 days of darkness, from what people have talked about, would represent the idea not only of something physical, but it represents something metaphysical within ourselves. It's kind of like going back to what Jesus would basically talk about, from him being dead for 3 days and going into 3 days of darkness. So a lot of it is also biblical. So again, going into the 3 days of darkness basically represents the idea of you going into yourself to move into the higher states of enlightenment. But if we're looking into the externality of it altogether, it can represent the idea of eclipses. It can represent the idea of power outages. It can represent the idea to where there may be magnetic shifts happening around the planet as well too, where there may be darkening effects taking place. These are, again, all theories that I've received. And even though they say, well, there could be certain things like that happening as we get around 2037, 2038. And like I said, it could be 1 day of darkness. It could be a few hours of darkness, right? It just depends on in regards to what's happening. But it also has that metaphysical meaning as well too. So whether we're looking at it physically or whether we're looking at it metaphysically, everything pertains to those days of darkness, representing the idea of you going inside, shutting the door, so to speak, and going within and clearing yourself out. And the 3 days representing 3, that is clarity. 3 is clarity. So that's, again, why there's 3 days. Darkness in that sense represents the idea of going within, of transcending past the unknown of the subconscious to bring about light, right? Really, when we look at the story of Jesus, it really is just the story of the sun, right? That the sun basically on December 21st of the winter solstice goes down, right? It basically I wouldn't say it goes down, it halts, right? And then it's there for 3 days. And then after 3 days, it starts to rise again, okay? The entire story of Jesus Christ in the Bible is all about the sun, not the S-O-N, but the S-U-N. Okay, there really was a Jesus, but I would refer to him as Yeshua, right? Not Jesus. Jesus is a Greek name. But the idea of him rising after 3 days, we're talking about the sun, right? So you basically have that winter solstice where the sun itself basically feels like it's sitting still. And then after 3 days, it rises again. It starts to move again, okay? That's all it is. It is really just representing the nature of the sun, right? Staying in darkness and then rising after 3 days. So that's the biblical, that's the metaphysical aspect of it, for us to basically have that time and transform ourselves and transition and move into greater states of transcendence. But again, there are physical things that do happen on the planet that could represent a particular time of darkness. So whether it's an eclipse, whether it's a magnetic shift, all of that, whatever, maybe anything else, any other phenomena that we can't really identify with. If I'm looking at that too, pertaining to a days of darkness around 2037, 2038, I am feeling something like that. It may be the idea of an electrical outage, right? But we really can't say until we get more closer to that time. As we get closer to that time, we can investigate a little bit further. Okay? But that's what I was getting, more around 2037, 2038. But we'll see. We'll see how things go as we get closer to that time. Thank you. Okay, guys, we're almost out of time here, so then we're probably going to wrap up here in a few minutes. Okay, let me see here. Political androids. You took the politician androids, took the words right out of my mouth. Exactly, right? It's like I was telling people about, with Trump, and I was telling people about Pierre Polyev and all that stuff. And like I said, people feeling that they need these politicians to turn around. It's not to say that some people do not have good hearts, but like I said, their role is not the role that is going to lead to your salvation. A lot of them, again, is just working together in a industry, right? It is an industry of politics. It is an industry of religion. It is an industry of corporations. And that is not the answer. And again, that is, like I said, political. That's like Philly Pam here says, politician androids. You got it, right? They are not going to take care of you. We got to get out of that mentality. And I know a lot of you are not like that, right? Especially a lot of my subscribers here. You're not like that. You've moved past that. But we receive this because we're going out and we're telling other people about it, even though they might want to punch us in the face. But nonetheless, what needs to be shared is what needs to be shared. Okay, this is Elaine. Brad says, you're such a cool, kind, amazing guy. Your creativity is out of this world. You're changing lives. I hope so. I mean, to me, it doesn't really feel like it, right? When I bring out these really big projects, like I said, I have 73,000 subscribers on this channel. And whenever I'm bringing out big projects, it's very much a small amount of that. So my goal is that I have my audience who's here, and they're my warm audience. And you guys are the first to get this technology, right? So I offer it to you, and you pay decent prices with it because you're going to be the pioneers for this. You're helping me with it. You say, okay, well, Brad, there's a mistake here. There's an error here with the site and so forth. All right, oh, good. I can go in and I can correct that. But like I said, unfortunately, like the 73,000 subscribers that I have on this channel, really, there's only maybe about 2,000, 3,000 of them that are active. So I don't know what the other 70,000 are doing. It's like other people's channels as well too. Like I see these people that have like a million subscribers, and they got like maybe like 10,000 views on their video. Like, where's your other 900,000 plus subscribers that are supposed to be here? Your 990,000 subscribers aren't even tuning in. You got 10,000 out of a million here. What's going on? So that's what we'd like to know as well too, right? This is the joke of YouTube as well too. Like, you can't even talk to your subscribers personally. It's a bunch of BS. It's garbage. Right? So, but like I said, I'm doing what I can, and this is where I just say I need you guys to help out, just to help spread the word. This is why I'm giving you guys an affiliate program. You get 15% commission from Anoint when you get one of your referrals to sign up. Right? That's 15% commission every single time. You got 1,000 people that want Anoint. Well, then there you go. You're probably going to make several thousands of dollars just from the people that you know. And you're putting it towards a good cause because now they're going to start learning about their metaphysical side. It's going to be wonderful. So thank you for that. Okay, we have one here from L, I believe. L says, I am disabled in mobility. I want an additional revenue for my debts, consulting using my technical skills, e.g. my old job. I am also attracted to developing my inner self to be more in line to my mission. What do you see? Okay, great. Now, you did give me a $22 donation, so I'm not too sure if you want Anoint for this. But again, I think maybe what I'll do is I didn't get your birth date or anything like that. So I think this will just be for me. So again, you're telling me you're disabled in mobility. You want additional revenue for your debts. I am also attracted to developing my inner self to be in more line to my mission. Okay, so let's take a look here. And now I got your photo here too, so thank you for that. Let's go ahead and take a look here. I think it's just a matter of finding things that you believe in and then just working together through the comfort of your own home and making more of this residual income. Okay, so residual income, I think, is something that can be beneficial. Like I said, if that's Anoint and you just want to tell people about it, that's great. I think there's a lot of other systems out there pertaining to health, wellness, metaphysics as well too that you can also additionally be a part of. Maybe there's commission programs and affiliate programs with that as well too. And really all it involves is just you spreading the word, right? Talking to people, or even basically maybe putting on a video and talking about that. Because what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing money coming from your own home, okay? So the work that you're doing is going to bring you funding. It's going to bring you financing. But it's about getting behind the projects that you believe in that may have commission or affiliate programs, kind of like what Anoint has here, and then just getting quite a few of them. and then just starting to promote them. Just tell them about that tell them about these systems that you're promoting through people that you know or people that you want to connect with a lot more. Because I see money from home, but money from home can come in many different ways. So commissions can be that. Okay. Developing your inner self. Like I said, there could also be the opportunity for teaching, right? You can put on some headphones, develop your own channel, and start working together, right? There's people like that who may not be able to leave their home and they're able to make a very lucrative living. So what I'm getting for you here, Al, is money from home, right? You have it. So what do I see? I see you actually being very, very active in doing this. I see you basically spending some time on the computer, looking at different services or products that you get behind and then telling people about it. I see you being like a portal system. I see like you being the living portal and you're telling people through these strands, go ahead and check this out. This is going to be very, very beneficial for you. Okay. And I've tried it out and this works really, really well. Right. So you're going to be kind of like a living spokesperson for someone who walks their talk based on things that you've personally tried and recommend. So it's kind of like you're being an advisor in that way. And I feel like, again, lucrative living, I'd say residual income at first, but maybe moving into something bigger later on that I think could help you out a lot more. Okay. So that's available to you. Work at home, money at home, that is available to you. Okay. Thank you, Al, for your question. Okay. And I think on that note, everybody, I think we're going to wrap up. I think we've reached the end of the chat for today. So I want to thank you all. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for putting up with my pep talks as well, too. Like I said, I have to let them out every once in a while. That's just me being a goat, right? So thank you very much. Please remember to go check out anoint.me, right? Join the affiliate program. Even before you sign up, just go ahead and create yourself as an affiliate member. And like I said, you don't have to be a subscriber. You can just waltz right onto the site and you can sign up for the affiliate program. Use your promo code there. Get 10% off the Premium Lite or the Premium Plus, and then pass that on to your referrals, right? You got the affiliate link there. You got the promo code there. You can check your commission status as well too. Payouts will always happen at the first of every month. All right. Thank you, everybody. Blessings to you all. Check out Adronis Patreon, patreon.com/Adronis. Check out wisdomtransmissions.com. That's where I do my private sessions, 3 questions by email. This is where I do my energy cord attunements, my Akashic records as well too. People ask for, Brad, where did you get all that knowledge from? That is through years and years, not only of looking at books, my friends, but going inside. My ability to go into the Akashic records was never taught by books. It was something of a natural ability that I have. My ability to go and connect with Adronis came naturally. I heard what other particular channelers were doing, but I did it in my own way, right? A lot of the knowledge that I bring to you guys is coming together from the source. And I build it, I sculpt it, and bring it about in this way. That's how the majority of my work has always happened for these past 17 years. So check these out. Check out the websites. I'll be back again this Friday. Now, here's something else I forgot to mention, everybody. This Friday, we're going to have a Anoint demo webcast. Okay, every single Friday from now on, I invite everybody to come on and just go to, even if you're just trying out the trial of Anoint on the homepage, you do that. Okay, because I'm going to teach you exactly how to get Anoint to work the best for you. So this Friday is the debut of the Anoint webcast, which are live demonstrations where we're going to look at certain things. I'll even be taking maybe some readings from you guys as well too. And we can even explore that as well too, right? Well, there's a lot of things that we can look into relating to Anoint. So that will be happening this Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So put that down on your calendars. Join me as we explore Anoint and we start doing some demonstrations. It's going to be awesome. Take care, everybody. Bye for now. Blessings to you all. Namaskar, and may be well with you.